Hello, welcome to Home JU and whatever day this is. Don't know, couldn't tell you, don't care, doesn't matter. Time has no meaning anymore. It's all a flat Lincoln commercial starring Matthew McConaughey. But I'm joined by some of my favorite people today. Dan Murrell is here.
Hello, how's it going?
Well, how are you feeling today?
Oh, same as yesterday.
Yeah, same as any minute. Although I won't say that's actually not true for me. It's quite a roller coaster. I'm looking forward to seeing if either Sir Pounce or Muffin makes an appearance today. And that is the number one thing I am looking forward to in the next hour.
Yeah, Sir Pounce looks nested, but Muffin could pop in.
Oh, Muffin. Yeah. Ooh, a rare Muffin appearance. Spencer GIlbert is here.
Yeah. I've run out of alcohol, Roth.
Oh, no.
I don't know how we're going to do happy hour later, but I'm here right now and I got my coffee and I'm good.
Oh, no. You can't run out of alcohol. It's the apocalypse. It's the number one staple that we need to. Thank you, Joe. Joe Starr knows how to do it. What are we drinking today, Joe?
He's a good Kentucky boy.
I got some good. I got some Deadpool gin and I got me some Kentucky bourbon.
Nice.
Yeah.
I was pretty sure that one of those was just Everclear, and I was like, you know what? I get it.
Yeah, if anyone can let me know how to make moonshine, I do have a bathtub.
I might have to save the bourbon for hand sanitizer. I don't know.
You know what? Honestly, Spencer, I would get in on that side hustle. I will market that moonshine for you and get it right in on that side hustle.
Just stay out of my territory. I've got the valley. You folks can have whatever else you want.
You can be a bootlegger and drive a Prius. I don't think it's allowed.
I like the idea that our show is going to slowly evolve into like a bid for moonshine territory across the Los Angeles landscape. We do have news today. Top Gun is moved. This is via Deadline. Top Gun is on the highway to the Christmas zone. Anyway.
Yep.
Paramount just made some release date changes. Top Gun Maverick is going to move to Wednesday, December 23rd instead of June 24th. I'm going to pause for 1 second and we're going to dive into this later. But like, I need a map of the release date changes because like some kind of murder board, because they don't match. What the studios do aren't matching each other and we need to break it down. Yes. Top Gun's moving to December 23rd from June 24th.
The problem with that is you'll have to replace your actual murder board.
No, never. Can't do that. That's how I track my murders. This will push the Chris Pratt sci-fi Skydance movie, The Tomorrow War, to an unset date. A Quiet Place 2 is rescheduled to Labor Day weekend. Highly anticipated by Ryan, thank you, Ryan, is the SpongeBob SquarePants movie, Sponge on the Run, which moved to July 31st. So SpongeBob, and this is bold in our scripts because Ryan really wants me to know that this is the important information for the people. SpongeBob 3 is moving to July 31st. It stands out as the closest new release date we've seen so far. So Dan, let's talk about this because we were slacking a little bit about this earlier. And I will say there's been some interesting moves, like Morbius moved back, but then some movies are going into the place that Morbius was. Wonder Woman only moved back to August. So it's like, I don't know if the studios are just feeling like this is when, like Morbius moved back because they were having post issues. And just little inside baseball for you guys. Animated shows and movies are moving forward because people are able to work from home. But there are so many NDAs around visual effects for a movie like Morbius that they're not able, even if they're capable of doing visual effects from home, they're literally not able to do it because they don't let them do it from a remote location where the footage is insecure. So that might have been the delay on Morbius, but let's start to unpack these changes.
Yeah, I mean, it feeds into a little bit, I think, of what we were talking about earlier this week, which is the sort of now the game of cat and mouse, the gamesmanship between studios that you might start seeing because, yeah, SpongeBob just moved into the date that Morbius exited. So on the one hand, you have a studio moving a movie off of a date, but you have another one putting a movie onto that same date. We've talked about the fact that it's probably likely that theaters will be closed through June I think that's a very real possibility. But now we're starting to see the counter programming strategies of different studios. I think just trying to figure out, when will the theaters be open? Can we be at the beginning? Can we be in the first wave? Do we want to be? And I agree, Ross. The thing with Morbius is, how many of these movies are moved because studios don't think theaters are going to be open? And how many of them are moved because they just can't be done? A movie like Morbius, probably not done 3 months ahead of time, and maybe work can't continue. But like, this is sort of the phase 2, I think, if you will, of this whole shuffle. Is studios are now sort of tracking the progress, even though there's no real way to know what the progress is going to be. And now we're starting to see the beginnings of them doing the calculus in their heads and saying, like, when can we get movies in theaters? Can we take a date that was vacated by another movie? I'm actually surprised to see that Paramount dated SpongeBob for July, just because I don't think you want to date a movie a second time and then have to move it off of that date. And even though we're sitting here in the first week of April, I still think that that's a somewhat optimistic move. Well, I mean, to just say, like, we are moving a movie and we're putting it on this date in July, but 3 months or almost 4 months away. Like, I think that shows a confidence, and I don't know where that comes from. Maybe it's from their own studies. Maybe it's from their discussions with AMC of them thinking that theaters are going to be up and running by the 31st of July.
I'm excited to watch it at Comic-Con.
At Comic-Con, yeah. Well, two things on Comic-Con. So Comic-Con hasn't been canceled yet officially, as we know. Everybody's anticipating that it will be, because even if we're out and about, probably we aren't going to be in a situation where we're comfortable with 100,000 people from all over the world being in close quarters. Some people are speculating that it's not canceled yet because of insurance. They need to be told to cancel so that they can recoup the insurance. They know they're going to have to cancel, but they're waiting to be told. So second thing is, Spencer, on SpongeBob moving to that date, some people are speculating that movies like SpongeBob that are more mid-range are moving to those dates because if the studio has to pull it and bring it home, they're more comfortable with a movie like that than a really big tentpole film. What are your thoughts?
That makes a lot of sense to me. I don't know, you were speaking about the NDAs and working from home stuff, but I don't think that would apply to a movie like SpongeBob 9 or whatever we're talking about. Like, you can, if that leaks, it's like, oh no, Patrick says something stupid in this one, movie ruined. But I think that, like, doing if they have to release that at home, I mean, people with kids are going to be going insane by then. I think any parent would jump at the life raft of a new SpongeBob movie and pay, $20, $30, $40 to distract the kids for another couple hours by the end of July. I mean, good Lord. Yeah.
I mean, Joe, as Ryan's dad, you've got to agree with that, right?
Oh, no, absolutely. Ryan's driving me crazy right now. He's just, he's crapping, he's scooting his butt on stuff and just getting into scrapes. And I'm, as a TGIF sitcom style single dad, I've just had it up to here. Joe, Ryan, and the Cats coming soon. ABC.
You're right up to the top of that hair, is what
it's almost out of frame. I'm this close to doing my Wasteland buzz on camera.
Well, yeah. What are you gonna do, Joe? Like, say. What's that?
Like, in general?
No, hair-wise.
Yeah.
Are you just gonna let it keep going? Like, is this how we're gonna track time?
I think it's gonna keep taller. Eventually, the next time I have a microwave die and have to suddenly go to Target, I need about 6 feet up here so I can just, like, hit people with it while I yell social distancing.
That'd be cool, like the Slim Jim guy.
It's sort of like, I don't know if you guys saw the guy that. Did you guys see the guy that built the donut? The social distancing donut all around his body. So, Joe, that's your hair.
I think so.
It's serving two purposes. And one is, I do think that we need, and you guys tell me how you feel, I do think that we need to invent a new way to track time. Because I had a meeting the other day and I had to pull up these concepts and I was like, oh my God, that was like last year, it was months ago. And then I pulled it up and it was 13 days.
Yep.
Which is essentially 300 years.
I think it's less like new way of tracking time. It's just there should be like EC and AC, before Corona, after Corona. Let's just start the calendar over from 3 weeks ago.
I think we should track Joe's hair with pop culture. I think we should be like, when we started, Joe was at Kramer. and now he's at Eraserhead, and then maybe he's at Marge Simpson. I mean, God forbid we're all locked in long enough for Joe to get to Marge, but maybe he will. We don't know.
We don't know. Joe, you're doing the Lord's work, and we just want to thank you for that.
But I'm also not just pretty. I have thoughts about this scheduling stuff too.
Oh, good. Let's talk about the scheduling stuff. What I want you to know is that Ryan off screen, when we were talking about SpongeBob, you guys couldn't hear it, but he was relentlessly dinging the bell because, again, that he does have strong feelings about it. Joe, I want to hear
like
your
Hector
thoughts.
Salamanca over there.
Joe, what are your thoughts about the release date changes?
Well, I think the sort of no reason of it is because I think studios are kind of playing chicken with hopeful stories to put around these release dates, right? And the amount of chicken you're able to play depends on the movie. Like if we're all clear by July, then SpongeBob is the heroic film that swoops in and lets kids get out of the house for the first time in 4 months, right? Or that Kevin Hart movie that actually got moved up. Like, that's a gamble you can take. Like, people will excitedly leave the house to go, like, in droves to go see a Kevin Hart movie. Whereas, if we're here for longer, then suddenly Top Gun is the heroic savior of movies come Christmas time. I think is sort of, I think it's just a lot of sort of playing chess to kind of get some really good PR out. I don't mean PR outcomes like they're trying to spin their PR, but there's, stories they hope to have around these release dates and why these movies are successful.
Yeah, another one is like we've talked about it a lot with Black Woman, Wonder Woman, Black Widow. Boy, I can't talk. You know what?
The newest DC superhero.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Okay. You know what, guys? It's been a long time. I've been holed up in this specific corner literally for 12 hours out of my day. So just forgive me. Or don't. I can't do anything anymore. Top Gun.
I think all women are superheroes.
Thank you.
That's
I agree, actually. Top Gun, Wonder Woman, Black Widow being unlikely to move home. Though I do think that, I know that there's some people, Eric Goldman on our staff staunchly says that will never, never, never happen. And I tend to agree with him. I just think it depends. Like sometimes when it's like, we're going to go home and we're going to go back, everything's going to go back to normal in June. I'm like, June of what year? Things may change. But a movie like The Quiet Place, for example, which was a relatively big hit for Paramount, but not so big that they couldn't afford to bring it home, that might be a contender for VOD. Dan, thoughts? Although it's like it's
so reliant on that whole ambiance. Yeah, I will say the one movie that I will promise you will never go to home first is Top Gun, because unless Tom Cruise and Chris McQuarrie can come to everyone's house individually and make sure that they do not have motion smoothing on their televisions, then they will not allow that. So absent that, which if they want to come to the house, and I don't, but if they want to come check, I would be happy to have them. But I think that would have to be like the only way they would do it is just like, I will not have it on a television with motion smoothing. So Top Gun, no.
What's the over-under that they just never allowed to be released on VOD at all? Like Tom's like, nope, we just release it every other month in the theater for 2 weeks for eternity.
That also could be a possibility.
I like the idea that that's our new census. Is like specifically, I don't really care who you are or how many people are in your house, but do you have motion
smoothing on?
But
they could do the census at the same time. We're saving money and time here.
Oh, that's true.
Tom Cruise and Chris McQuarrie do the census.
People would participate.
Exactly. I think A Quiet Place, from a cost perspective, I agree, could be a movie that they could do financially, but that would be a real shame because at least, especially with the first one, the shared experience in the theater and the ambiance and the sound design of that film was such a fun part of that for people that could and chose to see it in that manner. It's different if you're sitting at home and the phones are going off and you got the dryer going and it's a different experience. So that would be a shame.
Well, you know what else is a shame?
Coronavirus.
Nope, that's not what I was going to go to. That's not what I was going to go to, actually, Spencer. But you know what? I'm just going to move off the entire topic as a result of your segue. So thank you guys for sticking with this because, bam. And we thank you so much for it. We hope you're enjoying it. I'm pitching some things for us to do on this program that I think are right on theme, like we all take our temperature, and I have just been rejected at every single turn.
God, what if we went, no, that'd be grim if that's how we find out.
Yeah.
If we were just taking our temperature.
Yeah.
Billy was like, what if one of you has a fever?
Yeah, right.
102.3. I guess I should leave.
Joe just jumps off the call. It's not funny. It's not funny at all. But it's
no, I'm a disciplined, loyal fan employee. I will live stream this show in line, trying to get into an overstaffed hospital and talk about Top Gun with you guys. That's how.
Let's make it clear. No one at Fandom has asked us to do that.
Yes, that's not been a request made of us.
That has not been a request made of us. That is not going to be a thing that we do. But it is one of these weird times where it's like, I don't know if there are people, Chris Cuomo, for example, who works for CNN, has tested positive and is still working. He's still doing a show. I watched a bit with him the other day where he was interviewing someone, and the person was like, you should probably take a day off or something and go get better. It is a very, very, very weird time. So thank you guys for sticking with us during this very, very weird time. Thank you for your patience with us, particularly myself, who clearly I'm full of bad ideas, like let's take our temperature on the show. Thank you for hitting that bell, liking, subscribing. It really does mean a lot. It means that we can keep doing the show. When you like it, it rises up in the algorithms and the YouTube gods bless it. And then there's rain for 3 days. So it's really, really important for us and for California that you like this show. So thank you. Let us know that what we can be doing that appropriately lightens the mood for the situation that we're in. Because the truth is, we do take it very, very seriously, and we know that that this is really hard on a lot of people, on everyone in the world right now. And so we do want to use this platform specifically to help lend some support to people who are working really, really hard right on the front lines of this thing for all of our benefit. So this week we're calling out Direct Relief, which works with public health authorities, nonprofit organizations, and businesses globally to provide the protective equipment that health workers so desperately need right now to try and treat this virus and keep all of us as safe and healthy as we can. We appreciate you guys sharing a link, supporting it in any way that you can. We appreciate you guys being safe and taking care of yourself and each other in this time. Like I said, we are weird bananas that have little to offer but these shenanigans, but we offer them freely and with lots of love. And please, please, please do keep taking care of each other. All right, Joe and your hair, we have some fan questions, and I want you to read the first one.
Oh no, let me pull up my script.
Uh-oh, do you want me to do
Joe's
it?
pulling up his script, could I share a positive story that I just saw pop up? That's a cool thing. I just saw this popped up as we were talking. Amazon Prime and South by Southwest have launched Prime Video presents the South by Southwest 2020 Film Festival collection. They are joining forces to show if filmmakers choose to do so for 10 days on Prime Video for free for Prime members. They are showing the films that would have screened at South by Southwest, and the filmmakers who choose to participate will receive a screening fee for streaming their film over the 10-day period. No launch date announced, but they're saying around April 2020. Sorry. Actually, this is free to all audiences around the country with or without an Amazon Prime membership. All that is needed is a free Amazon account. So for filmmakers that were not able to participate in South by Southwest this year, it looks like they're able to get their stuff shown on Amazon.
That's awesome.
Oh, that's really awesome. That's really great. I mean, it's true. And we haven't talked about this much. We'll move on to fan questions as soon as Joe is able to find the technology, or I can step in. But But one of the things that we haven't talked about with the industry is the impact on independent films, which I worry will be far more significant than any of the films we tend to talk about with the release dates moving and so forth. Or, question mark, alternatively, positive outcome. Could it be that because folks are home and these are more likely to go to streaming anyway, that people are more likely to discover some of these gems?
Yeah, it's a good point. I mean, streamers are they're going to keep needing to shovel more coal into the content furnace, and they, with productions shut down, they're going to need to buy already existing things. So this could be a boon for indie film if you're willing to go directly to streaming.
Mm-hmm.
Joe Starr, oh, go ahead.
I think Netflix, just broke records with that Mark Wahlberg Spencer movie, and I don't think that would have happened if we all weren't stuck inside with it. So I think this is a good opportunity for people, because I think people right now are really hungry for stuff to watch, and I think that's a fantastic program.
I gave that movie one of the harshest reviews I've ever given as like one of the last things I did in the outside world on Press Play. I don't think I've ever been that harsh. I think maybe 3 other movies I've been that harsh on. Dan Murrell, have you seen it?
I've not. I've, as I mentioned, I've been watching a lot of 90 Day Fiancé. Just so much.
Yeah.
So much of it.
I have watched the Spencer movie, and I need to have somebody like clip out relevant sections of it just so I can have them make a soundboard of like, well, I was going to swear, but like, don't F with Spencer, and stuff like that, so I can start my own morning Zoo Crew radio show.
So you're going to do like the Arnold Schwarzenegger calls when they would call people and be like, who is your daddy and what does he do?
Yeah.
I'm going to ask you a question. I want to answer it immediately. You're just going to do that with Spencer.
It's me. It's Spencer. Hey, I'm the baddest guy in prison. Get on the floor. Yeah, I'm going to beat you up.
It is the weirdest movie because it's literally like they pulled the script from a Spencer for Hire episode from the 80s and then just made it longer. And then
gold.
And then in the middle of that weird, like quippery quipness, they had these really brutally violent scenes of like women being beaten to death. It is so insane. But I get that I hear that people love it.
Actor. I think Post Malone should do all the acting.
Yeah, all of the acting all of the time. People love it, and that's great. What top 10 things that Roth will get yelled about today? 1, the Spencer movie on Netflix. 2, Joe, do you want to read that question?
Yeah, Tom Bowden wants to know what movies you guys think would be improved by adding a murder mystery to them.
Adding a murder mystery.
Adding one that doesn't exist.
I'm going to go, because it's the first thing I thought of, and I went, I'm going to go with the first Cloverfield movie, or something like it.
The first what?
Cloverfield. I like the idea that while giant kaiju is attacking and all that chaos, and you have like a group of survivors running around trying to escape, they all just keep getting picked off one by one by someone in the group.
I'm going to throw a Transformers movie in there. Any of them. Just to be like, I am Optimus Prime and I've found a clue. One of you in this room is a murderer. And then it's like they lock all the Autobots into a mansion. And it's basically Clue, but they're all Autobots. It can't be worse than what we got.
They locked them all into Anthony Hopkins' mansion from the night one.
From the knife one?
The night one.
Oh, the last night. Yeah.
Oh, yes. Sorry. Yes. Yeah. Yes. They're all. It's a murder. It's the last night. It's Transformers the last night. But in the middle of the thing, all of the Autobots are locked into Anthony Hopkins' mansion, and they have to figure out a whodunit.
I'm gonna go with grown-ups. Kill David Spade in the first 20 minutes, and then it becomes about justice for David, and they got to solve a whodunit at the lake house. There would have been more going on.
It was Adam Sandler in the swimming pool with a poo-poo.
Yep. I found a clue.
A fart killed him. Oh,
looks like he was killed by flatulence.
I'm going to go with SpongeBob and then quickly move on. So Lauren Plath says, if you had to be in a quarantine with a Star Wars character, who would it be and why? Dexter to go make me a bunch of food.
He'd eat more than he makes. Come on.
You think so?
That guy's
Big dude.
Yeah.
All right. Rethink it.
I like your instincts, though. I think your head's in the right place.
Who else can cook in Star Wars? Like diner food, like yummy 50s diner food.
I mean, at the risk of having my stuff dismantled, I'd take a Jawa. I feel like they'd be resourceful and could kind of make a lot out of a little.
Dude, they would steal all your crap.
Where are they going to go?
In like 2 days.
They're stuck with me.
They're Jawa. They can go. We don't know how the coronavirus interacts with Jawas. I don't know.
I didn't know we had to take their biology into account. So I guess I'll pick a human. Yoda.
No, I would pick Yoda. I
can't wait to
pick
see
Yoda.
videos about how the coronavirus would affect Star Wars.
Yoda would not use many resources. He's very small. He's very wise. He's very deep.
Meditates half the day.
Deep conversations. Yeah, he meditates a lot, so he's just sort of doing his own thing for a while. Yeah, I'd go with Yoda.
Right.
I'm going with Shmi Skywalker. She's kindly. She's maternal. Maybe she'll take care of me and be calming and do mom stuff so that I don't have to do anything.
So you're keeping her as your slave.
Right. That's what that sounded like to me. like she was a mom slave. That's what that felt like.
She'll
like
take care of me.
Like a blue
Aren't all
milk
moms
delivering
slaves in a way?
And she can't escape. Yeah.
Isn't motherhood slavery? Really?
I'm gonna go with R2 because A, he's R2, but B, I think R2 would be really resourceful, but not jack all my stuff and leave me for dead like a Jawa would. And then like I feel like he could just hack into any given system and I could watch anything I wanted, and he would just like hologram project anything I wanted, including like private conversations that are happening in government, whatever I want, really. He's R2.
I think Akbar would be really helpful too, just in pointing out when things are dangerous, like don't touch face.
Oh, whoops.
We're gonna do one more. Danette Williams says, "Who would win in a fight between a werewolf and a wolfman?" Because, and she wants us to understand this, and that's fair, Danette. Thank you. They are two different things.
Can someone explain the difference?
A werewolf just straight up turns into like a wolf, like the Twilight werewolves or werewolves, but Wolfman is a bipedal wolfman, still just has torn jeans on.
Well, then a werewolf, easily, because, have you seen the Wolfman? He just runs around like this and goes like, a wolf would tear him apart.
Yep.
A Wolfman is a hairy man. A werewolf is
like
a wolf.
like a centaur situation. Like he had the top half of a wolf, and the man from the waist down.
Do we know anything really about the biology of a wolfman? Like, do we know, does he have more power and strength? Does he have claws for hands?
Yeah. We've all seen Benicio del Toro's Wolfman.
Yeah, no,
That's
asking,
more like a werewolf.
Does he still, or she, operate with the mind of a human and the cunning of a human, but the power and equally the cunning of a wolf, versus a werewolf who's in wolf form and just fully animal, can't strategize?
Yeah.
Wolfmen tend to operate on animal instinct still.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I know it's probably hacky, but I have to fall back on the fact that I've seen enough wolfmen defeated because a child kicked them in the balls.
Right. Yeah.
Didn't
Joe, what about Brotherhood of the Wolf?
Ooh.
Brotherhood of the well, that's not about a werewolf. That's about a giant beast let loose in the forest that a weird French ninja has to hunt.
I picked that.
I think I'm gonna pick a wolf too. I'm gonna pick a wolf. I'm going wolf.
Wait,
wolf.
Werewolf
just
or
a regular wolf?
Yeah. I'm going outside.
I'm going to vote with Spencer, and I'm going to go with the movie Brotherhood of the Wolf.
Yeah, we're both going to go with the film Brotherhood of the Wolf, which is really hard to find on. You can't find it streaming or anything. Someone link me a copy.
I'm going to amend and go with a dire wolf.
Well, I'm going to answer the question and definitively say that I believe a werewolf would easily take down a wolfman.
Well said.
Okay. All right. We hope that helped Danette, we really, 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 really doubt that it did. Actually, one more fan question. Lacey Rose Love says, what is your favorite pilot episode from a TV show?
Ooh.
That's super hard.
Avatar: The Last Airbender has a really good pilot.
West Wing has a really good pilot.
Arrested Development is a great pilot.
That is a great pilot.
It's like right off the bat funny, which is very rare with comedy.
I'm going to go with, maybe this is recency bias. It probably is, because there's a lot of really great pilots, and you guys mentioned a few of them, but I'm going to go with Saul, because it was a show that I genuinely, as much as I believed in Vince Gilligan and the creators of Breaking Bad, I really didn't think it was at all. And the pilot immediately sets you in that world. It tells you that this is going to be like incredibly quality television, character driven. It's not going to be gimmicky. It's not going to be, and it's weird because they do manage to bring in characters that the fans love, and it never feels like memberness. It never feels like fan servicey at all. It completely feels organic to the world. So I think it's a great pilot. Although it wasn't really a pilot because it was a straight to order. All right, let's not parse. Okay, so we, like I have said, are a bunch of, scaled ability and intelligence monkeys dancing for your enjoyment. And we are delighted and grateful to be able to do that every single day of the week. But we also take this time very, very seriously and know that it is very serious. And we're starting to see the impact of that in a larger way in the world, though it's been very clear for a long time that this is a dangerous time, that this is a scary time, and it's a really sad time. So we're going to take a moment and remember Adam Schlesinger, who passed away. He's a musician and songwriter. He was a member of Fountains of Wayne, and he was a songwriter for, I don't know if you guys watched the show. I know, Spencer, you did. Crazy Ex-Girlfriend.
Yeah, Joe's a fan too. We love
it. So do I. It's an incredible show, and he was a songwriter for that. He has passed away. He was 52 years old. He died Wednesday morning today. He's survived by two daughters, and he passed away from complications associated with the coronavirus. So he was nominated for an Oscar for writing the title song for That Thing You Do, Dan. Yeah. He wrote for projects like Josie and the Pussycats, Colbert Christmas, Broadway's Crybaby, and many, many, many more. It's really sad. So we just want to take a moment to remember him. Joe, Spencer, Dan, do you have anything you want to add or add?
I think Tom Hanks said it very succinctly, that there would not be a Playtone Pictures without the song That Thing You Do. I think that movie hinged on a song that's so good you can believe that it made this band's entire career for decades to come. And that's what he delivered the movie. I mean, the believability of that movie hinged entirely on his ability to deliver that song. And, he absolutely did. His stuff on Crazy Ex-Girlfriend was fantastic. I feel so bad for that entire show and family. Rachel Bloom just gave, really? That's what we're doing? All right. Sarah, also a fan of Crazy Ex-Girlfriend. Rachel Bloom, the creator and star of that show, delivered her kid while following his progress in the hospital. So I can't imagine how hard of a time the entire group at Crazy Ex-Girlfriend is going through right now. So my condolences to them. That's just absolutely mind-boggling. But he did the Robert Smigel's TV Funhouse music. His DNA is all over tons of stuff, whether you know it or not.
Dan?
Yeah, it's a real bummer. I mean, I don't know. Like That Thing You Do is a movie that I have particular affinity for, both because it holds a very sentimental place in my heart, and also just because it's a great movie. And it just sucks, It's just not fun. It's really not fun at all. And it's, it's easy to sort of get down about it. you know, and that's fine. It's also, you know, if people are revisiting that work and celebrating it, that's great too. But yeah, it's just, you know, like you said, we're here just to do what we do. But there is this dark realism that creeps in, and this is part of it. But I don't know. You know, there's not a whole lot to say other than just that, like, it sucks, and I celebrate his work and the work of a lot of other people, and the lives of a lot of other people, and we just got to get through this. You know, it's going to be a tough road, but you know, it's nice to be able to do things like this. I was texting with Joe yesterday and saying that, like, you know, the toughest part is really not being able to see, you know, you guys and you know, my friends. I'm very lucky I have Mara here, who is such an amazing part of a support net for me, and vice versa. But you know, it's also tough to be separated physically from the other people in your life that provide that kind of support. So you know, that's one of the reasons I'm glad on a personal level that we're able to do this, because it's nice to see you guys and talk to you guys.
Spencer.
Yeah, he was amazing. Fountains of Wayne is a lot more than Stacy's Mom. That was kind of like a novelty song that hit big, but they have a couple of fantastic albums if you're into like just indie rock of that era. And overlooked gem, he wrote the songs for the Josie and the Pussycats movie, which are, it's like an immaculate pop album. It's so good. I should probably revisit the film. I don't remember liking it at the time, but the songs are great.
Yeah, we're all like Joe was saying, and Spencer and I and Joe are all big Crazy Ex-Girlfriend fans. That show is so smart, and it's incredible the way that it was able to ride this line. Speaking of what we're the moment we're in on the show right now, ride this line of very dark and very serious and very deep themes, and still be funny and light. And that's a really tricky thing to do. And everyone who worked on that show was brilliant, and the scope of his career is so expansive. The kind of music that he was creating is so different from each other, just what we've been talking about here today. So that speaks to incredible talent and agility, and it is a big loss, and it's very, very sad. And Dan, to your point, you know, it's hard to know what to do right now, because I think there's this part of all of us that's trying to navigate these waters and figure out how to respond to things, and when it's appropriate or not to make a joke. And sometimes you need to, and sometimes you need that release of, this is crazy, and so I just have to laugh. If I don't laugh, I'm going to cry. And Sarah gets that, I think, with her appearance, and she she knows. But it's really hard, and this is going to be a really difficult period of time over the next, I don't know how long, but certainly the next few weeks and months probably. So I also am grateful to be able to connect with you guys and you guys watching, and we really thank you for your heart and your kindness. And we're all in this together. So please do continue to let us know what we can do to help to support and entertain you. And yeah, that's kind of it. That's all I got to say. Anything else, you guys, before we go out?
No, we can go out on that.
All right, let's go out on that. We're wishing everybody's really, really well and really, really safe, and lots of love.